Today I want to talk to you about something called a bracha levatala, which is a wasted blessing or a blessing that's in vain. So for example, if you've ever seen a talit with the blessing on it, or you've heard someone say, right, Baruch Hashem ad Hashem Elokeinu, something like that, and you're like, what is it that they are saying? Those are close to the words that I know, but they're not the actual blessing. The idea is that they are saying a prayer outside of a prayer context. Okay, so they're looking at it, or it's written down without actually being in use at that moment. And the idea is that that prayer doesn't get to exist without the doing of the thing that goes with that prayer, right? So you don't say Kiddush and then not drink the wine. You don't say motzi and then not eat the bread, right? You don't have the name of God and then not honor that name by doing the thing that you invoked it for, right? Which is why some people say Elokeinu instead of Eloheinu. They are making a point to avoid taking God's name in vain and in some way dishonoring God through not following through with the action by which they were invoking God. I'm not going to say, hey, pay attention, when I don't really want God to pay attention. Okay, so this is an old Jewish concept. It comes straight out of the Ten Commandments of not taking God's name in vain. Now, this happens in lots of contexts. I have invited people over for Shabbat dinner. This is a while back. And asked them to say motzi, for example. Oh, I already said motzi, they said. And so you don't say a double blessing, right? You don't bless something that you've already blessed. That's a bracha levatala. Okay. Why am I telling you all of this? Day in, day out, week in, week out, we say brachot shalom, right? We say prayers for peace. And we invoke God's name when we say prayers for peace. And I was reminded by a message from Rabbi Mark Asher Goodman this week that if we are unwilling to do the work for peace, if we are unwilling to really put our hearts and our actions and our resources on the line for peace, then maybe it's not a bracha that we get to say. Because as much as we ask for peace from God, it's ours to do. And I know that in the wake of this week, so many of us feel helpless. We feel, I voted, I did what I could, I contributed, I did whatever. Clearly it's not enough. And I wish that I had a solution. I wish that I had one thing that each of us could do that was going to make it all better. But I think this week, when we talk about Birkat Shalom, when we talk about a prayer for peace, some of it is not falling into despair and not giving up hope and continuing the work for peace, continuing the work so that our children, our community doesn't have to suffer this particular heinous behavior anymore, so that people can stop hiding behind the Constitution when it comes to the death of children, of innocents, of people who are grocery shopping, right? So I hope that this week, that every day that we hear Oseh Shalom, Shalom Rav, any of those prayers for peace that we say so often, that instead of saying, God takes care of peace, that what we hear is, peace is my responsibility.